Hello YouTube and welcome to another GV anime review, where today I will review the famous romance anime Golden Time. As I said, a very known romance anime from my favorite animation studio GC stuff. So I was going into this anime with quite high expectations. The main protagonist of Golden Time is Tada Banri, a guy who just enters law school. A couple of years ago, Banri had an accident after which he lost all his memories up to that day. He then decided to come to this law school in Tokyo to start a new life far away from his unknown past. On the first day of the academical year, Banri soon becomes friends with Mitsuo Yanagisawa and meets his eccentric girlfriend Kaga Koko. Quickly, a special bond gets created between Banri and Koko, but will their relationship be strong enough to overcome the troubles that lay ahead? The first positive thing about Golden Time was the setting of the anime. It was a nice change to see a romance anime take place at a college instead of the normal middle or high school setting. Yes, it was still a school, but it's something different to see these relationships develop in a college and between characters who are 20 years old instead of the usual 15, 16 or 17. This is something that opened up a lot of possibilities to address facets of romances that are more difficult to address when you're dealing with minor characters. Then, the animation reminded me instantly of, not surprisingly, Sakuraso no Pet Nakanoyo, another famous rom-com from GC stuff. From the very first second of Golden Time that I saw the resemblance with Sakuraso. The use of bright coloring, the character designs, the beautiful sharpness of the animation. This felt like coming home to Sakuraso, which was very pleasant since Sakuraso is still one of my all-time favorite animes. The comedy in Golden Time was okay. There were some funny moments in this anime, mostly provided by the relationship between Banri and Koko. It was good, but nothing more. Then the other aspect of a rom-com, the romance. Golden Time is, together with Jitsuwa, which I reviewed 2 weeks ago, one of the few romance animes where I would have been okay with multiple possible relationships that the main male could get into. Here in Golden Time, I didn't have a preference for either a relationship with Koko or with Linda. I would have been fine with either of those. Even a relationship between Banri and Shinami would have been acceptable, although that was never a possibility. The fact that the two of our main relationship, Banri-Koko, were older than our usual couples in romance animes made that they approached their relationship a lot more serious than I'm used to. And this is why Golden Time gets so much appreciation. The fact that the relationship between Banri and Koko isn't an all lovey-dovey relationship, but a very realistic romance with lots of trouble and grief lying on the road ahead. Also, the girl Koko played a big role in this realism. Koko was a good female character to me because of the fact that she isn't black or white. In romance animes, the characters usually are all good or all bad, but Koko lays in the middle, in the grey zone. There were times that she could be really sweet and caring, but at other times she was an arrogant, selfish and jealous bitch. So I get why some people really like her and others hate her. I have to go more to liking her as a character because of the realism she brought into the main relationship and into the anime as a whole. And as a last positive point, I want to mention the drama in Golden Time. I'm not going to tell a lot of details because I would spoil the anime too much. But let's say that the story of Banri's past and the still being present of his past self delivered the necessary drama to this anime. Drama that helped the anime move forward, and that was the cause of some major plot changes in Golden Time. The main negative thing I want to mention about Golden Time is the rather forced ending. It was kind of a shame that the writers decided to end the anime like this. If they had had the courage to end the anime at episode 23, I would have had endless amounts of respect for them. That ending of episode 23 would have been almost unseen in romance animes. But unfortunately, the anime did go for the classic miracle ending in episode 24. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't hate the ending. I'm still a romance sucker, so it was still a fun and heartwarming ending that filled up my romance tank for a couple of weeks. But nevertheless, the ending was forced. It could have ended differently than with that miracle ending. And for the rest, I actually don't have any more real negative points to say about Golden Time. What I can say is that everything that the anime delivered was good, but not amazing. The comedy, the drama, the romance, everything was good but never wow. It all didn't reach the level of, let's say, a Sakura So. So as a conclusion, as I just said, Golden Time delivered everything it had to deliver to be a good romance anime, but it could have been a little bit more. That's maybe really subjective of me, since an anime like Sakura So is one of my personal favorites. But still, considering the rather forced ending of Golden Time, I'm going to rate it at 4 out of 5 stars. If you're a fan of romance animes, then Golden Time is definitely one you have to put on your to-watch list. And then my recommendation. I mentioned this anime a few times in this video, but Golden Time was really like Sakura So no Pet Nakanoyo. Both are really good romance comedies, with Sakura So doing the things that were average in Golden Time better. Sakura So is still my favorite romance anime and the number 2 on my anime top 10 and one of the 3 animes to receive a perfect 5 out of 5 star rating. These two are examples of why GC Stuff is my favorite animation studio when it comes to romance animes. Toradora and Anonatsude Matsuru are other great examples of awesome romance animes GC Stuff created. And with that I conclude my review of Golden Time. As usual, you can find the full list of all my animes and reviews over at Anime Planet. As usual, I will put a link in the description box down below. Now if you want me to review a particular anime from this list, please put them in the comments. Also, if you have a recommendation for me, put them in the comments as well. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, visit me on Facebook and subscribe to this channel for more reviews in the future. I will say arigatou gozaimasu and I will see you all in the next video.